Okay, so probably not gonna get too many people joining in due to the time I'm doing this, and just gonna be doing a quick review, two quick reviews. So let's just get right into it. Let's start off with the Raspados. Raspados is a cross of the biscotti and the sherbet cream cake. This one is definitely gonna be a great dessert style strain for people who are looking for something that's going to taste good and sort of pack a punch. What you will notice about this Raspados is it's not going to be super heavy. It's going to be sort of weak in a way. It's definitely not going to be something that is going to have that knockout punch, but it is definitely going to be something that is probably better for later in the day due to the fact that it's going to have you relaxed and just calm down. What I did notice is it is very fast acting, but it's also gonna fade away very, very quick. It's gonna be pretty much gone before you could really enjoy it. And that's not a good thing about it. Definitely one of the weaker points of it, but it's definitely, I would say, about a 6.5 for the effects. Very calming, as I mentioned, but it's gonna have that CBD style of effect where it's gonna be more just calming and probably better for your body in the way that it's not gonna have you really having those psychological effects that most people are really chasing when it comes to THC. A lot of people understand, well, everyone who has done the research would know that THC is the psychoactive molecule, CBD is the non-psychoactive one. So the CBD is better for body, for pain, for all sorts of medical purposes, but it's also something that is much less valuable. So the fact that this is only kind of really showing some CBD sort of effects is not a great positive for it. So I would say 6.5 seems very fair. I would say it's definitely not going to have you super sedated or slunched over in any way, but it's definitely going to have you calm down and just relaxed for the time being that it will be around, that you're going to be able to notice it. As I mentioned, very fast acting, but also very quick to disappear, to fade away. Leads us to the taste. I would say the taste is probably one of the better pieces of the whole puzzle. I would say the taste is definitely enjoyable. It has this creamy dessert, sort of a peachy type of cream type of taste that is sweet and enjoyable, but it's also going to be a little bit just odd and just unique in a way that isn't going to be easy to compare to a lot of different things. I will have to say for the taste, it's about an 8. I would say that the taste is definitely fair. It's something that is probably, as I mentioned, probably one of the better things about it because of that creamy, peachy, just very sourish, weird taste, but it's good in a unique way that is hard to fully describe. But leads us to the smell. The smell is gonna have that sourish fruit type of scent to it at first. I will have to admit, it seems to fade away very quick and becomes very airy, sort of immediately, and that's no good. I would say that's definitely no good. So I would say a 6 for the smell. That would lead us to the look. The look of it is almost perfect. It has beautiful color. It has beautiful structure. Everything about the look is something that's going to draw a lot of people in. So I would say it's definitely about a 10 for the look, and overall that would give us an 8 point or a 6.875 for this one. It's going to lead us to say that I would say that this one is great for people who are looking for a little bit of a good tasting thing that can kind of give you a sort of an effect. but it's sort of one of those like appetizer or dessert style strains where it's not going to be the knockout punch. It's not like an OG like this. It's not going to be something that's going to noticeably get you higher and higher. It's going to be one of those things that just relieves any tension and just calms you in a way that is pretty useful for some situations, but also very not useful for a lot of other situations, which leads a lot of people to just be putting it to the wayside. It's not necessarily something that's really going to show a lot of benefits for medical smokers, so it's not necessarily something that's going to be a winner. Leads us to the talking about the Deep Visions number one. This one is a winner. This one is definitely a winner. I would say that the Deep Visions is surprisingly very good in all ways. This one is a cross of two very interesting strains, one of them being a strain that has banana OG in the lineage, and I believe that the strain's called Amarello, and it's crossed Amarello times another strain that's kind of blanking out of my brain right now. But these two strains are definitely perfectly mixed together. It's two strains that are able to create this very wonderfully tasting strain where it's going to have a lot of banana terps to it, but it's also going to have this sweet, just savory taste that is very enjoyable. Got a little bit of smoke in my, but the Deep Vision's number one. Let's speak about the high first. I would say the high on this one is very enjoyable. It's definitely going to be something that packs a little bit of a punch, but it's also going to be something that can be sort of enjoyed at any period of time throughout the day. I would have to say the name makes a lot of sense for it. The Deep Visions, it makes a lot of sense. So if you're reading it based off the name, you're judging it based off the name, you're going to be able to see that this one is definitely going to have you sedated and sedated in a very euphoric, calm way that is definitely going to be more preferred for later in the day. I would say it's definitely best for later in the day due to the fact it's going to have you a little bit more lazy and a little bit less on point with some of your words. Some people are going to just be a little bit too slow, so it's not going to have you in this right state of mind for every situation, but that's perfect for other situations. I would say it definitely has a lot of medical benefits because of that. It's definitely going to be something that could be perfect if you are actually trying to use it for its pain relief or its calm state of mind that is going to be for certain people, as I mentioned. I would say this is definitely also one of those ones that's going to give you the munchies times 10. It's going to be something that's just going to have you eating anything in front of you. So this is definitely one of those ones you're going to want to make food while you're smoking it, but or before, because you're definitely going to be very calm and maybe a little bit too relaxed to get the task done. So it's going to be one of those ones you're going to want to have those munchies prepared. I will read the comments in a second. Just give me a minute. Moving on to the taste. This one, for the taste, I would say a 9. I'm gonna go back and say that for the high, just gonna say a 10, because surprisingly, even though this is from Jungle Boys, even though there's a lot of pieces of it that maybe shouldn't get such a high ranking. I'm giving it that high ranking because I feel like it's well deserving due to the price range it is and the actual effects it's consistently able to give you. I would say it's definitely going to have a lot of medical benefits in that way. So moving to the taste. The taste, I would say a 9, because this one is just very sweet. It has this banana Pop-Tart type of taste that is just very surprising, to be honest. Very, very surprising. This is something that is gonna have this amazing taste that I was not really expecting when I got it. I was more expecting it just to have that punch that I'm basically looking for. Most people are more looking for flavor nowadays, and I would say this is going to more than satisfy both of those people, both the effects type of guy and the flavor people. And as I mentioned, it definitely gonna have this banana pop tart type of taste that is just kind of mind blowing to me. It's surprising to me because it has this very just sweet banana taste, where most times when you get banana strains, they have this more banana peel type of taste, and that's what you usually get from the banana OG, is more of this banana peel, but this is more of this creamy, doughy banana that is very nice. It's like a banana, sweet banana bread, but I would say for the smell, very similar to the taste. I would give it a 9 because of that, and I would just say it's very sweet, fruity, just not super strong. It's not going to be the thing you open the bag and it's going to just reek up a room, but it's definitely going to be one of those things that is going to be very satisfying to anyone who gets a chance to get a whiff of it. So, very fair for that. And for the look, almost perfect. I would say that this strain is just one of those ones that is just almost perfect. So, I would say that a 9.2 for a final overall. This all leads me to say that I am going to be doing a new Gas You Can't Pass contest, where it is going to be filled up with all different types of brands. There's going to be a lot of stuff that is from Jungle Boys. Both these two strains that I just presented to you guys today, both are from Jungle Boys. There's probably, I don't know how many strains that I'm gonna have in the final list that are from Jungle Boys. So what I'm debating on doing is having a whole side of the contest be Jungle Boys facing off against black market brands. Brands that are small batch, all of these hyped up brands that people are very interested in at the moment, and I wanna judge it based against Jungle Boys for a few reasons. One of those reasons being the fact that a lot of people look at Jungle Boys as being one of the worst recreational brands at the moment. There's a lot of people who consider Jungle Boys not to be super high level. So it is amazing to me when there's stuff from a brand that people don't consider to be high level that is beating out some of these super hyped up things. I think it's a great way to demonstrate that there is real levels to this, and there's a lot of brands that don't consider that when they're actually releasing products. They don't really release based on the levels, they're more releasing stuff based upon how much a clout a certain brand has at the moment. Like, easy example, I know I probably use this example too many times, but Beezy Buds, he's someone who has a lot of different strains on the market, and they all are in the same range, but they're technically not the same quality. So what that does is leads a lot of people to feel disappointed when they get certain ones. When they get other ones, they're just like, wow, this is so much better than all the rest of it. But then they get certain ones and they get very disappointed. And if you really think about it, there is going to be only a certain amount of people who get all of the different drops and try them all. There's going to be more likely chance of some people grabbing that one jar that they might be disappointed in, that a bunch of people might be disappointed in, and might lead a lot of people to have a bad taste in their mouth for the next purchase. They might not ever go into the next situation really having that open mind and really giving it a chance, because they already felt disappointed to some level of never given a real chance again. It's sad, but it's true. There's a lot of people who basically will they'll judge weed based on the first time they ever tried it. They judge a lot of products based on the first time they either try it or see it. And sometimes you're able to make people in love with your brand just based on having a great first experience. We all know that to be a fact. So what that leads anyone to see is, if there is also brands that have a terrible first experience, there might be a lot of people who go into prejudging it in a way that is never going to allow that brand to get that look that it really deserves. And I think doing contests like this and actually showing the people the big differences between all these different things goes a long way, and I feel like the people do understand that there is a lot of contests out there right now, and using the data from all these different ones is going to allow people to get a better understanding of what's actually out there, what's actually for them, and what is actually going for a higher price than it's deserved to be. So I definitely will continue to try to organize this in a way that's going to be fun for the people. Chandler, what an interesting name. But if you don't care, adios, my friend. For the people who do and that are sitting here listening, I do want to take suggestions for brands to have into the contest, because, of course, it will be fun for me to actually put all these different ones to the test and show people which ones are actually about their word, because that's a big thing in today's time. Is there's a lot of false advertising, and it helps in the end. Let me read a few of these comments before I get out of here. Evil is spelled. Evil is live backwards. Well, so the brands are for a cannabis contest that I've been doing. I think the guy was just doing some rage bait. I don't think he was serious. I think he was more just because the funny thing is, at around the same time he said that, I got a like on the thing, so I think the guy was just looking to see how I'd react to something like that. But to speak on what brands I'm looking for brands, cannabis brands that have been getting a lot of hype, and or brands that are just out there that people want to see get put to the test, because there's so many out there that are considered to be high class and they're sort of scamming. So doing these types of contests, in my opinion, is the way to crack that and make it impossible for a lot of these brands to just say they're doing some certain thing when they're really not. Cali Connected. Are you talking about the brand Connected? Because the brand Connected, technically, I'm not gonna say they're bad. I would say I've had a lot of stuff from them, and they're decent. They're definitely decent. Yeah, Permanent Mark is a decent one. I'm not a huge fan of that strain, to be honest with you. Yeah, that's the tricky thing, is a lot of it is a lot of it is turned to the hype beast side of the market. If anyone's familiar with the way shoes used to be sold, or probably still are sold, is kind of done with celebrities. It's done with these different ways of generating buzz around it, and that's just how life is now. It's like people buy with their eyes. It's always how it's been. People always buy with their eyes, but now we have all these different types of media that is able to help people sell certain products. And for easy example, we see the Proper Doinks guys. They're doing some smart moves when it comes to generating attention, but what they're also doing is kind of selling people on this idea that isn't necessarily an end all be all of how to judge quality. They're trying to say like this stuff has to burn white or it has to do this or that. It's not necessarily the way to judge something, especially if you're not judging it based on the actual effects it's given to the people. I think it doesn't make any sense on doing a tournament, because what was the reason why it got medically legal for the people? It's because of the benefits it can do for you if you have a medical condition. And the fact that people now are only judging stuff based upon the looks, smell, and taste, mainly the taste, is not really important for the people. It's not really going to bring any value for the people because there's so many ways of manipulating taste or manipulating smell or manipulating looks. You can't really manipulate the effect in a positive way. You can't really make someone feel, you can't make someone's medical condition just disappear by scamming. And that's what some people are able to do when it comes to like the looks or the smells and all that crazy stuff. I'm more of a indica person, and the interesting thing when it comes to indicas, like so-called indicas, for me is like I can smoke a Gorilla Glue, and it's going to calm me down and just make me a little bit more focused in a weird way, versus where some people will smoke a Gorilla Glue and they'll just be literally glued to the couch. It's gonna be different for me because I feel like it kind of calms me down and makes me a little bit more well thought through because it allows me to not rush through certain weird situations where I might rush through some situations and do it completely wrong. It's very odd. It's like an easy example is I do martial arts. I haven't really fully trained it in a proper way. I've been to a few different gyms, and one thing I've noticed is there's sometimes I am very bad at actually allowing lessons to be learned in a way that's going to be helpful for me, and I rush through hearing things, I rush through whatever, and a great way for me to be able to maneuver around that is by having having a patient moment through smoking cannabis, smoking one of these indica strains, and just being a little bit more locked in, ready to listen. And there's sometimes that some people just don't allow themselves to hear what's being said to them, and they kind of act like they know it. And I've been guilty of that so many times in my life where I hear someone say something, and I'm just like, I think I know what they mean, but then I'll hear them say it a few more times, and I'm actually able to see that I was skipping through steps, I was skipping through parts because I, for whatever reason, wanted to rush through it, and it just never is able to work that way. So there's certain strains that are able to make me a little bit more patient in those moments, a little bit more calm and aware. It's very odd to say, but it's also, I would say, very useful for some people to smoke these sativa strains that are going to make them a little bit more happy, a little bit more easy to speak to. Versus there's also some people like me, I smoke a super heavy sativa. I'm gonna be kind of rushing through moments that I need to be calm in. You know what I mean? Yes. Unfortunately, yes. It is all about branding, endorsements. It's all about uh, who you know, not what you know in the game today. That's like the scary part about it is you notice that with like a lot of businesses, it ends up being they end up hiring people based upon who you know. Like you'll have a family member that is able to get you a job, you'll have a friend that's able to get you the job, and you don't really know how to do the job. You just get the job based on who you know, and it's why a lot of things go to shit. But you see in the cannabis game right now, it's a lot of popularity contests. It's a lot of situations where people are friends with everyone and they get a lot of blessings because of that. When in the end, it all shows itself to be just a scam. It all shows itself to be just a high school style popularity contest type thing where it's not even guys who really know what the ins and out of the game really are. That's like the tricky part about it. But it's also like the beautiful part about it, because at the same time that that happens, it lessens the competition, makes the competition a little bit less aware. So as much as these people get put on because of who they know, they also never really know it all, so they end up being easy to defeat. Yeah, the I do think that certain sativas are very good for certain situations, though. I think it's just as it's amazing. Like there's things called well, I don't know why I'm talking about it like that, like you guys don't know, but there's lemon tree, for easy example. I definitely would highly recommend that to anyone who's a indica fan, sativa fan, whatever type of fan you are. You'll have a lot of pleasure smoking lemon tree, because lemon tree is one of those ones that isn't going to give you that stuck in the head feeling where you're just super anxious, super stuck in your head. That's the easiest way of saying it. Lemon tree is more of those ones that just going to give you that cool, calm, relaxed, uplifted feeling where you're just going to be able to like go have a lot of fun doing whatever you're doing, going to the beach, going to an amusement park, wherever the hell you're doing, watching TV, doing whatever you're doing. You're gonna have a lot of fun doing it if you have a strain like a lemon tree, but it's like it's not really spoken about. That's one thing. Like you see a lot of these contests, they are picking like the best smelling things or best tasting things, but they actually aren't really recommending things that are actually going to be useful for situations. And I think it's the best thing I can say when it comes to a sativa. But I'm gonna continue making some food. It's like 4 in the morning right now. I don't even know why I'm up. I should get to sleep. But much love, much respect. I definitely will try to start doing a lot more lives. I will have some more content posted on my other channel. I've been doing a bunch of different things. I've been doing these in real life videos where I go to different sketchy places, do videos like that, and I also been doing some interviews over on my other channel as well. One that I really recommend is the one that I just did with Yellow Skunk Farms not too long ago. This guy is literally a just a he's amazing with what he's doing. He has this grow that is just mind blowing. If you see it, it doesn't even make sense how it's possible. But that one was very fun to do. It was literally like almost 4 hours of us speaking, and that was a fun one because there's so much in that one for you to listen to and learn about, or just nerd out about, because that one I learned a lot and also was able to get some questions answered that I think are very valuable for the people to hear, speaking about how living soil works, how all of these different things work, why rock wool isn't necessarily the best medium, all these different things. We explain exactly why too, which is very, very valuable, I think. But you'll find that all on my other channel at High Mind Entertainment. It is a channel I'm still in the works on trying to build up, so do appreciate anyone who gives a subscribe over there, and I definitely will try to I'll try to find some more interviews to do within the next few weeks, and hopefully we can continue to keep this as consistent as possible. But I definitely am very much open to any recommendations on who people want to see interviewed, or any brands people want to see in this next upcoming Gas You Can Pass contest. I think this will be a fun one to open up to the people and allow people to give their recommendations on the people interview and the brands to add into these contests, or at least review. So much love.